gentlemen, is the Raw Leadership Talk. We are glad today to bring to you the Raw Leadership Talk. I don't know where you're watching from, but we'll be glad for you to engage with us. Connect with us and share with us where you're watching us from. Are you in Nairobi? Are you also in Nairobi? Are you in the diaspora out of Kenya? We'll be more than glad to engage with you. Raw Leadership Talk coming to you live from the Africa Center for Public Speaking Coaching Lab. And we are more than ready to share with you the fundamentals of trust building. As we again get into the month of trust building, lined up fantastic conversations with different speakers from next week. But today, I pick it up myself to share with you. Change begins with you. Change begins with you. In a moment, we shall begin our discussion. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Mugera. I am a coach, a leadership coach and public speaking coach. And there's a mentality change coach. But again, also, I am a counseling psychologist. I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm glad always to bring to you the Raw Leadership Talk. For the last few years, together with my team, in an organization called Initiative of Change, we have engaged in a program called Trustbuilding. This is a program that was rolled out to different countries across the globe. And in Kenya, we took the opportunity to take the initiatives of trust building among Muslims and Christians living in Garissa and in Mombasa. Over time, this program was expanded to not only interfaith, but also interethnic, even as we go towards the election. You and me know that a lot of times in this country, we do face a problem whenever we are going towards the election. People will begin to hurt each other based on ethnic groups, fueled by political animosity. And before time, people engage even in violence, verbal abuse, and even going to emotional abuse and physical abuse of each other. Now, this doesn't need to take place. That's why the trust building program is here to impact lives, to engage communities of different faith, of different ethnic groups in focusing on building trust. You know, it's possible for people to live in peace, but again, we need to go beyond peace into trust building. We can live in peace, but we don't really trust each other. This program has impacted a lot of people, hundreds of people in Garissa and in Mombasa, even as we have brought people of different faith together, and now people of different communities. The impact of this program in enabling Christians to understand Muslims and Muslims to understand Christians, but also in going ahead to enable people to understand each other from an ethnic point of view and a human point of view, has been so profound. And so you can participate, you can engage with us, you can become part and parcel of this particular program to move beyond the shadow of doubt to become a real human being, a real Kenyan who is able to impact others in the best way possible. And so the whole of this month, we are dedicating the Raw Leadership Talk to the Trust Building Program. Trust Building Program. We have also begun to raise funds through the Mchanga program for those who are in Kenya, and crowdfunding for those who are outside this country through a program called GoFundMe. So we would like to appeal to you to connect with us and donate anything that you can to cause the trust building program in Garissa and Mombasa to continue impacting lives of people. But also you can come and say, Dan, you know what? I want to connect with you and I want to go on ground together with you. I have never visited northeastern part of Kenya. I have never visited Garissa, but I would like to accompany you one of these fine days to just go and see what do you people do. And I'll promise you, you will be amazed at the kind of transformation that is taking place as people engage with each other, irrespective of their religious background and ethnic background. So you can donate through the pay bill 891300 and account 578. Anything that you have, you can donate to say, I support the trust building program in Garissa. I support the trust building program in Mombasa. And from next week, we will bring on our ambassadors. And one of our ambassadors is Salem Lorot. We are organizing a charity run next month, which we are going to engage. And also in the last week, we're going to bring Dr. Paul and discussing matters trust. So it's going to be a powerful month, even as we engage in matters trust building. But today, I want to share with you a few points that could enable you become a trust builder in whatever you're doing. You could be employed, or you are a businessman. You could be a community volunteer, or you could be planning to run in the 2022 elections. How do you build trust with other people? Let me tell you this. To become an authentic trust builder, start with yourself. Become an authentic trust builder. Start with yourself. If you're going to see any change across the globe, change must begin with you. It is Mahatma Gandhi who said, we must be the change that we wish to see in the world. Most of the time, it becomes easy for us to point fingers on other people, to look beyond the shadow of doubt within ourselves into seeing the problem in other people and begin to imagine that other people should always change. But let me tell you this, that personal practices and values that build trust and promote sustainable change begins with oneself. Change starts with me. Change starts with me. And so if you're going to become an authentic trust builder in your family, in your community, in your nation, even at your place of work, you will have to understand that if there's going to be any authentic change, it has to start with you. We live in a world full of blame, moral degradation, dilemmas, political confusion. And because of this, most people don't think that change should begin with them. If this country is going to change, individual Kenyans have to change first. Change will not begin with people from another ethnic group that you think they are the problem. Change will not begin by people from another religion that you think they are the problem. Change is not going to begin with somebody from another class that you think they are the problem. Change will have to begin with you. So I want you to say to yourself, change begins with me. Change starts with me. When you get to that point where you acknowledge that actually change starts with you, then you position yourself to be a trust builder who will impact the world big time. But you don't need to stop there. Once you have embraced change and you have acknowledged that change starts with you, then the next thing that is very, very important is healing historical wounds, creating new narratives for our communities. There's been a lot of hatred. You know, when we began to have Al-Shabaab's attacks in this country and radicalization became the norm, people became so suspicious. Innocent Muslims were also terrorized because people feared them. A Muslim will get into a matatu or a public transport and other people will move out because they will think he has some explosions and they were going to explode in that particular car and people would die. On the other side, we also made Christian radicalized. Some Christians became radicalized. They began to hate Muslims. They began to generalize and say all Muslims are terrorists. On the other side, as the attackers were carrying out these attacks, they would also propagate a narrative by asking the non-Muslims to recite the Shahada and see whether they are Muslims. And in the event that they couldn't recite the Shahada, they will be killed. Hatred was being fueled up between these two religions, the Muslims and the Christians. But then you know that every election time there will be hatred being fueled up among members of different ethnic groups. Everybody will want their man to become the president. Everybody will want their man to win. And so we begin to retreat back to our ethnic cocoons and begin to hate people who come from other ethnic groups. Ethnic coalitions will be formed to necessitate a big man from a particular ethnic group to win the election. It's no longer about agenda. It's no longer about issues. It becomes an issue of ethnic groups rather than innovative ideas and development ideas that could transform a country. It's no longer about somebody who is sound. It becomes a person of a particular religion. That we can't vote for so-and-so because they belong to these particular religions. They do not hate us. We cannot allow so-and-so to lead this particular company because they belong to a particular ethnic group. And throughout the years, this has caused a lot of wounds, segregation and biases, and people feeling rejected has been the norm, impacting people negatively. And so if we have to become authentic trust builders, then we got to go back and heal historical wounds that have been in this nation. Because these historical wounds continue to make people suspicious, insecure, wounded, and we feel trapped and we cannot move on. We detect people by their native name and begin to place them somewhere. We don't look at people as full human beings, irrespective of their ethnic group, irrespective of their class, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their clan. We look at them with eyes of unconsciously being biased about them. So healing historical wounds is very, very key. And we need to acknowledge and heal wounds of history and wounded memory, because that is what is affecting a lot of people in this country. Acknowledging historical wounds and honoring different stories and identities are necessary steps in creating new shared narratives and building movement to address legacies of iniquity. And so we got to go back there and begin to find out this hatred between the Kikuyus and the Luos. Where does it begin? How has it impacted people negatively? This hatred between the Kalenjins and the Luo, where does it begin? This biases between different clans in Northeastern, where did it really begin? This stereotype that we have about Kambas, that we have about Costarians, thinking they are lazy people, backward people, where did it come from? And how do we change that and heal historical wounds? This attitude that we have about our own ethnic group, thinking our ethnic group deserves the best, deserves this particular percentage as far as power is concerned, where did it come from? Why are we so selfish? Why are we allowing wounds of history to continue destroying us and hindering us from functioning in an healthy manner? Healing historical wounds is very key to enable people come to a place of healing. And unless we acknowledge historical wounds, the biases and the rejection and the stereotype and the violence that has happened, the abuse that has happened, you know, you can say, but I've never faced this. Look, the fact that you have never faced this doesn't mean that you shouldn't acknowledge it. There are people who have not received promotion in particular companies because of their ethnic group, because of their religion, in this same country that we claim is developed in the 21st century. So this has to stop. This has to stop. And we got to move beyond the shadow of doubt into a place of reality, of destiny. So when we do that, then we can move to step number 3, which is dialogue for change, skills for honest conversation to address underlying causes of divisions. What are the underlying causes of division that hinders us from building trust with each other? Hey, you found yourself in the lower class and somebody's in the middle class, somebody's in the upper class. What hinders you from building trust with each other? You could be coming from the same ethnic group, but you're not in the same class. Somebody will be an upper class and he will give you an opportunity, but again, you will feel he is the person who takes away what I should have. What really makes you feel so that the person who has taken away from you? And how do we begin to engage in dialogues for change as a country and develop skills for honest conversation to address underlying causes of division? What really are the underlying causes of division? Because the presented problem may not be the problem. So learning and practicing skills for initiating and guiding honest conversation on difficult subjects is very, very key. And we got to first difficult subject, the difficult subject of negative ethnicity, the difficult subject of negative radicalization, you know, or religious radicalization that affects the way we look at each other. Thinking your religion is better than the other religion. Thinking that your ethnic group, your clan is better than the other. Thinking that your association is the best than all other associations. So courageous, inclusive, and honest conversation on difficult subjects enables the building of trust among stakeholders, the building of trust among stakeholders. And these are the things that we've been doing in Garissa, we've been doing in Mombasa, and we are asking you to support us by donating through the pay bill, an account that you see on your screen, so that we can continue with this work even as we go towards 2022 election. And the final thing is building effective team for healing and equity. Strategies for engaging all sectors. We can be a team irrespective of our diversity. You do not need to come from the same ethnic group as me. You don't need to come from the same clan as me. You don't need to come from the same religion as me. You don't even need to come from the same class as me. But you know what? We can build a team of human beings, a team of Kenyans of goodwill who care, who want to go beyond just peace to trust building, who wants to move beyond the shadow of doubt into the reality of success and significance, to go up the mountain and look into the promised land, a place that we can come together in that that brotherhood and that reality that impacts us in the best way possible. It doesn't matter whether you come from northeastern part of Kenya, you come from the Rift Valley, you come from Nyanza, you come from Western, you come from Central, you come from Nairobi, you come from Eastern, or even you come from the coast. We can come together, forget our differences, and begin to build such an harmonious diversity, unity in diversity, and move this country, move our community, move our organization to the next level. When we begin to realize that change starts with me, and that I have historical wounds that I got to heal, and move to that level where I do not fear honest conversation, that I can engage with humanity in honest conversation, then together we can build a team. And so I invite you throughout this month to engage with us, even as we talk about trust building and lay out strategies that we could be able to engage and even and raise funds for this particular project of Trust Building Kenya, where we bring people of different faith together and people of different ethnicity together to begin to dialogue on matters trust. You and me need to trust each other. You and your neighbor, you need to trust each other. You and that stranger, you need to get to a point of trusting each other. The more we stay away from these honest conversations, the more we begin to be suspicious and confused as a country, as a people, as a nation, as a community, and this traps us and it doesn't take us forward. Doesn't take us forward. And so I challenge you today and invite you to be a trust builder, somebody who strives to build trust with the other person, especially the person that you don't seem to get along with. How can you sit down and begin to build trust together? There are families today which are disintegrated. Divorces are rising up big time. Separation. Children that are being brought up in conflict-related family because people don't trust each other. You can take up the challenge and say, Dan, you know what? I may not be able to go to Garissa, but I'm going to go with my donation. I may not be able to accompany you to Mombasa, but I'm going to go with my donation to impact people of different faith, to bring Muslims and Christians together, to impact people of different ethnic groups. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure for me to bring you the Raw Leadership Talk every Tuesday and every Thursday, bringing you the nasaha za uongozi in Swahili language, my mother tongue, as I say. And so I look forward to connect with you. You can share this particular message with your friends, and let us all develop and become great trust builders. All of us have potential within us to trust, but we need to make it real, even as we engage. Looking forward to see you next week. We'll be having a wonderful guest as we discuss matters trust building. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.